Motherhood taught me sometimes your hair is going to change whether you're ready or not. And instead of fighting that season, I had to learn how to adapt. Now, fast forward to my last pregnancy with my daughter. The hair was thriving. The hair was doing good, child. It was doing good, ladies. It was long. It was luscious. It was so good. I enjoyed, having my hair, nice and bouncy and flowy. And of course, when I had baby girl, the hair just started to fall out. Shortly after, all of it here was gone. The middle hair was gone. I tried the prenatal vitamins. I tried to go to the hairdresser on time, and I promise you, none of that worked. My hair was a hot mess, and it was dealing with the postpartum depression didn't help. I was recovering from a C-section. And also, I was highly stressed and grieving because, I shared with you guys a few videos down that I had lost my brother, 2 months after my daughter was born. So there was a lot going on with this body child. So I was stressed. I was dealing with postpartum. I was breastfeeding, and I lost a lot of my hair. It was just falling out by... I'm traumatized. But it allowed me to, okay, I knew that it was going to happen, but this is the worst that it had ever been, right? It's true when they say girls cause you to lose your hair. If there was ever a time a myth was proven to be true, it's that. Girls take your hair, yeah. It was gone, guys. And so then I started my braids era where, I would get like the down to the booty braids. I would get that. So, and that was beautiful. Loved the braids. The braids were incredible. Very, very Nubian queenish. I guess that was my era for that. But I can say that it really grew it because I have fine hair. There was a lot of still that kind of tension if you want to manipulate it and put it up. And so when I would take them out, the shedding continued. So even though the braids were beautiful, it still took a toll, on my hair. So I did that for a bit. And then after I saw it wasn't the best fit, I guess, for me if I wanted to restore my hair, then somewhere along that cutting, recovering, I became something I never really was when I was younger. I became a traditional sew-in girl, right? And so I never really did sew-ins growing up. I think I alluded to earlier because I just could not deal with that tight. I couldn't deal with that. That drove me crazy. I just didn't understand why I need to take 2 painkillers after I get my hair done. And the fact that it used to pull your side so tight that your face would look like this. That was my sew-in experience, growing up. And I'm like, why? Why are we doing this to ourselves? I just never understood. I understand growing up that beauty is pain, but that kind of pain I was never prepared for. So I ended up being referred to this incredible young lady who did traditional sew-ins, but she was concerned about hair care, and she did it in 2 hours. That was another thing. Some traditional sew-ins took hours, and I was just like, I don't want to sit down. I don't want to sit down. Same thing with braids. I don't want to sit down very long. So when I discovered that she could do it in 2 hours, and it was a painless sew-in, I was sold. And so that was the era when I started to move into traditional sew-ins, and not just traditional sew-ins, baby. Higher elevation of the self. So that's when I officially, started to have the hair down long, like almost by the butt, which is also a different version of me. And that became my new signature look, right? And so, even though I never really was like that person growing up, I was kind of forced, I guess, to transitioning to her, right? And believe it or not, that was so polished and convenient, right? And low maintenance, because even with like the humidity, it still allowed me to have a level of polish. It still allowed my hair to recover underneath because, like I said, it was falling out. So it still allowed me to have or feel, that higher elevation of self, right? While I was recovering from postpartum. So I was surprised to understand, like after a while of doing that, taking out and putting back in, that my hair actually started to thrive again, right? The only problem I had with the traditional sew-in is that I have dry scalp. And so after like a week or two, and I can't get to my scalp, it bothers me a bit, because I don't like to wash the weave. I would wash like my leave out, but that particular hairstylist does like the net. So I can't really get to my scalp. So that was the only downside to it. But trust me, the traditional sew-in was one of the things that I truly loved, because I could take care of my hair and it was truly a protective style while I was going through one of the hardest transition of my womanhood journey, and by extension my hair journey. So now I've realized that I don't have to just identify as a own hair girl, right? Or being a weave girl, right? I could use different styles when they serve me, as long as I'm not sacrificing my hair health.